All right, good morning, everybody. Nope. Well, I am now PFI. Good morning, Tim. Sorry, guys, had to swallow those last couple bites of oatmeal. Gotta eat. Need my energy for you guys. How's everyone doing today? PFI, talk to me about your tech issues, or even better, are you ready? Oh, man. Have you gotten with Jason yet, or do you keep trying to do it on your own? Just curious. I'm gonna copy that link real quick. You've been with him for the past 3 days? Okay. Right on. I'm not a tech guy, but sometimes I've seen things. Oh, hey, Dwight. I'm good with either. Cream white makes me smile. You were watching Crude NES on the same workspaces? Oh, so it wasn't your computer that was crashing. You kept crashing Ninja Trader 8. Too much stuff, trying to adjust it, trying to move it. Yeah. I love Ninja Trader 8. I really do, and I do all my trading on Ninja Trader 8, but it's a temperamental kind of girl. Or guy, whichever you want to be. I don't want to be sexist here, but you know. Yeah, I don't write on my charts on Ninja Trader 8. You've swapped out your laptop 3 times. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think it's your laptop, man. I think it's there's some stuff that you can do on Ninja Trader 8, and I'm sure that Jason's talked to you about it. But we'll go through it today too. I'll show you the link to all the stuff to make sure your computer's running optimally. Optimally. Um, good morning. Welcome back to the class. I hope everybody's doing great today. I hope everybody's happy, ready to trade, feeling good. Excuse me. We're gonna do, I don't know, let's do what we did yesterday. What do you say? Let's talk about advantages. Let's break them down individually. And then let's take a few advantages and turn them into a high probability trade. And then let's focus for 20 days, right? When I say let's, that's me and you both. Let's focus on giving yourself the highest chance of success as you learn the software, right? Understanding, guys, that what you did is you just jumped into the ocean and there are billions of fish, but let's go after one specifically. Let's make sure that our bait is designed for that fish. Let's make sure that we're fishing in the right region. Let's make sure that we're at the right depth, right? Because that's going to increase our chances for success going after that fish. And that's what we're going to do this morning. We're going to focus on one thing, the best thing. But before we do that, we're going to check out some news, right? PFI, I've got great news for you. This entire class is dedicated to helping you on executions. You ended up exiting your entire trade, which would have been a massive winner. So you're going to have to show me the picture, right? Sometimes there's some context clues there. But before I start looking at charts, guys, we're going to go through rules. Second half of the classroom is dedicated to your charts. If you post it in the first hour, I'm totally cool with that. Yeah, but I'm not going to look at it yet because my new people have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. So we're going to go through and we're going to go through the rigmarole and get you guys right where we need to be. But it's going to be a great day. I can already feel it. Today is Thursday, August 31st. It is. Don't be mad at yourself. PFI, if I'm not mad at you, don't be mad at you. And don't worry, I'll private message you and tell you that you pissed me off. So until that happens, roll with it, man. Enjoy it. Be thankful that there's a simulator that allows you to make mistakes to learn from, right? Isn't it fantastic that you didn't miss a giant lose or a giant winner with your real money? And even more so, isn't it awesome that you can take all the losers that you want on simulator and there's no repercussions other than getting smarter? Remember that. Remember that, guys. This is why we're on simulator. But first, August 31st, at 8:30 a.m. we had some high impact news. See these numbers right here? I couldn't care less about those numbers. Not going to lie to you. What I'm looking at is this red box. because this red box means that the market may react. This red box means, um, oh, Safia, thank you for that. I love it. A little support in here. This red box means that the market may react, that it may go up, down, super fast, reverse, all those things that make it very untradeable. So I'm looking at the boxes, high impact, medium impact. If these are going on, guys, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm waiting for just a minute. I'm saying to myself, hey, the market may become untradeable. Therefore, I'm not going to trade it. And that's the choice that I make each and every morning around news. Hey, good morning, GWC. Um, so this is part of my routine, guys. Every morning I come to forexfactory.com/calendar. I'll give you the link one more time. I can't tell if I did or not. Oh, it looks like I did. Here it is again. Click on it in the morning while your charts are loading. Double check. Make sure that there's nothing going on. And then, of course, everything that I talk about, you can find on the education page. These resources are available to you. It is mirrored on the Discord channel under trading rules. But guys, this is your everything. This is really anything that you need to be successful with the software. One of the things that I like so much about Nexgen is we'll go over that cream white. Dwight? No, I'm going to stick it with cream white because it makes me smile. And because I think you look like this little blue guy in a hat. I've already decided who you are. I am, but I have fun. Life is good for me. From the education page, guys, this is your software user guide. So if you're having a Ninja issue, right? Man, I forgot how to enter a trade. I forgot how to set up stops. I need a little help scaling my charts. Every one of those answers are right here for you. Every one of them are right here. This is you learning to fish. If you have a question about any of the concepts that go with NinjaTrader, I want you to feel free to ask them in the room. I'll give you a fish, but I'm going to redirect you to the software user guide because if I'm not available, I want you to know where to find these answers. So if you're having a trouble with execution, there may be something in here for you, right? If you need to reset your simulator, if you're rolling contracts, if you want to connect to your live account or maybe stop some targets, all of this is available to you right here. But please feel free to ask your questions in the room. And then the second half is the tutorial section. In the tutorial section, everything that I talk about comes from this section. The 3 rules, the 3 advantages that we discuss in the first hour come from this section. And really, glossary of common terms, the things that we say during the day, the indicators that we look at, there's explanations on all of them. If you're a how-to guy, I'm not. I turn the key, the engine goes vroom. I'm pretty cool with everything that happens between that. But some people, I got my engineers in here, they want to know, well, what is a one-to-one? There's how it's produced, right? Here's your reverse bar marker, divergence. PFI, you were asking, how do they measure divergence? If I click on that link right there, there's a lot of smart stuff that confuses the hell out of me. But what I do know without question, and this is the simplicity of the class, is that if one of these lines print, the cyan line or a magenta line prints, that all the stuff in this picture has happened, and there was a loss of momentum. So that's your how-to, guys, right there from the glossary of common terms. And then the most important one, and the most relevant one for this morning, is we're going to talk about a high probability trend trade. This is our first hour, guys. We're going to talk about a high probability trend trade. We're going to look at a trade that typically wins 70 to 80% of the time. We're going to look at a trade that is derived from 3 very key advantages. All of your indicators on every chart are going to agree with this trade. And this is typically when the triggers are their strongest, when there's nothing in the way, no termination conditions exist, and you're going to have enough room between your entry and your target to justify the trade, guys. This high probability trend trade is the foundation of your learning experience. This high probability trend trade is going to teach you to read your charts. And when you learn to read your charts, you're going to realize that 90% of your day, you adrenaline junkies hate this, but 90% of your day is watching your indicators and waiting for these advantages. You're gonna wait for momentum. You're gonna wait for nothing to be in your way. You're gonna wait for that perfect entry, and you're gonna understand all these concepts through just a little bit of chart reading, some very quick analysis. Um, and when you get good at it, you're going to understand where the market is likely to continue, and you're going to be able to use that spot for entries. And then the great part is you're going to begin to understand where the market is likely to go, and it's going to allow you to take profits at these key Fibonacci areas, and you're going to understand where the market is likely to stop. And these likely to stop areas are what we call termination conditions, and it's right there in the name what these termination conditions do to a trend. They can stop them, they can reverse the market, they can create a bounce that's untradeable. The same Fibonacci areas that Nexgen provides you are the same Fibonacci areas that institutional traders are looking at, that the people that control thousands of contracts are looking at. You're going to know minutes, hours, sometimes days in advance where these key areas are. And by recognizing them as areas where the market is likely to stop, it's going to keep you from trading into these bounce points. So we're going to focus extensively on the high probability trend trade in the morning. It only has three rules. Three rules create three advantages. A trade is nothing more than momentum, a clear path, and an entry area. And guys, I give you these rules every morning. Make sure that you write them down, that you're comfortable with them. These three rules will come to be on only two charts. Simplicity. I say that word a lot. I believe in simplicity. I believe in not overcomplicating things. I'm going to use a large chart. You're going to use a large chart. And that one large chart, that simple singular chart, is going to define direction, it's going to define momentum, and it's going to define areas. Your large chart is going to get 66.6% of the work done for you before you ever have to turn to a small chart. Your first 2 out of 3 rules happen on the large chart, and when they're met, you will have the advantage of momentum. You will also have the advantage of a clear path. When those are true, you're going to come to a smaller, faster chart. And what happens in one bar on the large chart will happen on 15 to 30 bars on that smaller, faster chart. And we're going to use a refinement process. We're going to let the large chart define direction, momentum, and areas. And then we're going to take this singular bar. Notice how I put a black box around it? And we're going to let it whittle itself down into about 15 or 30 bars. And you're going to be able to, within your first 20 days with Nexgen, understand exactly where the market is likely to continue. And that's where rule number 3 comes into play. You're going to wait for the market to come back to you, and you're going to enter it at this likely to continue point, and that's going to be your entry for the highest probability trend trade. So the large chart leads the way. I'm going to get coffee cups with that made on it. Large chart leads the way. Small chart is an entry chart. And then I do it every day. I'm going to do it again today, guys. I'm going to remind you, especially my new users, your path to success, your step-by-step path to becoming a confident trader ASAP, it begins with posting your trades in class. So I'm going to open up my TechSmith capture. Somebody asked a question about it. Dwight, that was you, right? Cool. So I'm going to open up my TechSmith capture. And let's do a little tutorial. And if you're still new to TechSmith, guys, go ahead, follow along with me if you want. I've got my charts up. I've got my capture, and I'm going to click this big red capture button. Once I click the button, if I hover over one chart, it's only going to take a picture of one chart. Guys, we trade 2 charts, right? In this case, I have 3 up because some of you are learning a new one. So I'm going to left click at the top of my biggest chart and drag it all the way down, making sure I get below the timestamps. And then I'm going to bring it over to the right. So now I have a large chart and a small chart. I'm going to release the mouse, and it's going to give me the option to capture a photo. Capture an image. When I capture the image, up comes the capture image preview, guys. This is what you're going to present in class every day. This is how you and I are going to have conversations. Your image preview has a toolbar up top. You can change the color of the tools you're using. Maybe you want to go black for your shapes. I click on shape. Everything is click and drag. Left click, drag to the bottom right. I get a square. If I need a bigger square, I simply drag a little bit longer. I've got arrows to point out maybe areas, entries, things that are concerning to you. Maybe you're just like, hey Mark, what's this squiggly green line? you can point an arrow to it. It makes my life a little bit easier. I know exactly what you're talking about because you asked your question in pictures. And then finally, and Dwight, this one's for you. I'm going to click this call out button. And I am going to change the color because you can't see black type on a black box. So I'll make it white. And I'm going to left click on my chart. And if I drag it down to the bottom right and release, now I have a chat box here. And you can see the little blinking cursor. This is how you're going to write on your chart. This is how I have a conversation with you every day. Every time you take a picture, you're going to tell me why you took that picture. Mark, I took this picture of this chart. Watch this. You'll do a small call out box up here and you'll say, Mark, is this a good top? And then we'll have a conversation about it. And then down here, right by the items that you want to talk about. Mark, is this momentum? And if you put that question mark on there, it means that we're going to have a conversation about what it means to have a good top. We're going to have a conversation about what it means to have odds favorable momentum. And then you might even say, hey, Mark, are these my areas? Whoops. Come on, call out box. Is this my entry point? Right? And then we'll have a talk about rule number 3. But the better information that you give me on a chart, the more information you give me on a chart, the easier it is for me to give you feedback. If you tell me what you're thinking and what you're seeing, you and I are going to have a conversation. I'll resort back to the resource materials. I'll look and I'll gauge what we're looking at versus the advantages that we teach for that high probability trend trade so you have an understanding of your rules. But by verbalizing your rules, by writing down exactly what you see, what you're doing is you're telling me that you either A, understand the idea of odds favorable momentum, or that you still need a little clarity. And guys, that's what this class is designed for. I want you to have questions, I want you to make mistakes, and I want you to not be right 100% of the time, because that's job security for me. But I also want you to offer yourself just a little bit of grace, right? You are new, you're learning something new. It's a lot of information on day one, but it does get easier on every day following. And the more you post in class and you ask me questions on your pictures, the quicker you're going to get to where you want to be. So I'm going to give you this picture of an annotated chart, and I want you to use this as your template every time you present in class. So Cream White, Dwight, if you want, take a picture and write on it. Let me know that you're cool with it, and then if you need any help, I got you. So you're going to post your trades in class, and then you are going to use a spreadsheet. Nexgen provides you the spreadsheet. It is in your Nexgen Study Picks folder. Here's the picture of where you can find it. If you have Excel, there's an Excel version. If you don't have Excel, there's an open document version. Nexgen Study Picks Plan, License Agreement. Here's those Excels that open. Guys, this spreadsheet is your trade journal. This spreadsheet, oh, that's so funny. I tried to close that out, but it's a picture. This spreadsheet is where you're going to track everything that you do from a trade standpoint. When you're on simulator, you're going to take your trade, you're going to take your picture, you're going to annotate your chart, present it in the classroom, right? We're going to have a conversation about it. You're going to put that same picture into your spreadsheet. You're going to talk about how you felt. You're going to talk about the trade that it was, the conditions that were happening, and any notes that you have. And these notes are very key to what you're doing. They're going to allow you to recognize these patterns in the market that are bringing you success, and they're also going to have you recognizing the patterns in art. You're going to go back and study these every morning. What worked and what didn't work? What kept you relaxed and what made you nervous, right? Because anxiety can be a very real part of trading until you learn to trust your rules. What worked is what you're going to repeat. You're going to come into the day saying, this is the pattern that worked. This is the pattern I'm going to look for. This is my best chance of success. What didn't work might be breaking of the rules, right? It may be jumping in early or getting out late. It might be trading into areas that are likely to stop the market. But if you use this spreadsheet and you commit 5 minutes each morning to looking at what you did yesterday, you're going to put yourself in a great position for the day. You're going to go in with that mindset. This is what I'm going to repeat, and this is what I'm going to try to avoid. And the cool thing is that when you post these pictures in the room, I'm going to start to see patterns in you. And this is really, guys, this is one of my strong points as a human being, is being able to recognize patterns in people, being able to recognize the things that you do repeatedly that may be working against you. And then we'll talk about it and we'll work together to get you beyond those obstacles. So get in the habit on day one. Use this spreadsheet. So many people ignore it because it feels like work. Guys, $1 million a year is work. Put it in, get the study, follow the path. Um, we're going to take our first hour. We're going to learn the rules. We're going to break them down individually, and you're going to be able to learn these rules. But you're going to do it chronologically. You're going to start with one thing, and then you're going to take it to the next, and the next, and the next, and eventually it's all going to come together as a trade for you. But it's pretty basic, but it's not day one basic, right? We're going to go through it. I'm going to make it easy for you. You're going to simulate. You're going to practice. You are going to go all willy-nilly. You're going to make a million mistakes. And when you do that, we're going to talk about each and every one of them. I expect you to make mistakes. I hope you make mistakes because when the body is under duress, that's when the body grows, right? Nobody ever got better being stagnant. Nobody ever got better just sitting still. So get out there and get your reps, simulate those trades, and try to get those trades into the room. So now you've got it over here, right? So Dwight, click copy down in the bottom right hand corner, and it's going to put it on the spread onto your clipboard. Control V if you're in the pop-up will drop it into the room. And then the next thing you can do is click upload. And when I click upload on those, it's going to give me one of those screencast addresses that you see in the room so much. And if you copy that address, you can paste that address into the room. I can click on your link and follow the picture, but it's that same address that you can drop into your spreadsheet so that you can come back and study it. It's actually saved that picture for you digitally, and it creates a basis for you to come back and study. And guys, I told you that I'd give you fish, but I'm also going to teach you to fish, right? So that was given the fish, and now all you guys with extra parts for the grill out on the patio because you didn't want to read the instructions, there's your instructions. Everything you ever wanted to know about capturing pictures and putting them in the room. But if you need help, keep asking in the room, guys. I got you. We're going to talk about the rules. You're going to simulate. And guys, notice that the word simplify comes up again. We're going to keep it easy. We're going to focus first on a high probability trend trade, a trade that typically wins 70 to 80% of the time, a trade that teaches you to read your charts, to be a chart reader rather than a trader. And what looks are you going to commit to? You must learn the looks so that they become easy, guys. That's where these pictures are going to come in. That's where these annotations are going to come in because you're going to take all those great pictures and you're going to drop them into the second half of the spreadsheet. You're going to put them into the spreadsheet, and you're going to have these annotated charts, and you're going to see that high probability trend trade 1,000 times. And it's going to burn into your brain. And because it's burnt into your brain, it becomes easy, and it really does. You'll be able, that's okay, keep practicing. I suck at brain surgery, but I bet you if I put a couple years at it, I might stop killing people, right? So when you do it, watch this. Let's do one quick one. Are you comfortable getting to the picture? Give me a yes or a no. Y or N. You can create a picture, right? Cool. Can you click and drag on a call out box? We got to that point. Feel pretty good? Awesome. So now all we have to do is share it, right? And they're laughing at the brain surgery comment, not at you sucking at the picture thing. Bottom right hand corner says copy. I want you to click it and you're going to hear a little chime. Ba-boing. And it'll probably say capture copied in one of the bottom right hand corners. So Cream Right, are you in the pop out of the education room or is it straight off of Discord? Because if you're on the pop out, you have to use CTRL, control on the bottom left hand screen, and then V. And that's going to paste it in there. Otherwise, you can go old school where you right click and just click paste. But that Control V throws people off every now and then. And that may be where the challenge is coming from. So there I did. I just hit Control V and it pops in. And then to get it to the screencast, to get that screencast address, it's the blue button in the bottom right that says Upload. And that's the one that gives you the address. So where's the hiccup? I can fix anybody. Is it getting it into the room? And guys, this is what the classroom is designed for. This classroom is going to teach you to read your charts, but this classroom is also going to teach you to navigate, to get to the point to where you can get the best education. And sometimes it takes a second. You guys want to know a true story? Cream White, you'll appreciate this. Everyone's like, oh, Mark knows how to do everything. My spreadsheet when I was learning to trade didn't have these hyperlinks in it. Are you clicking in the chat box though? So Control V on its own won't get you in. You have to literally come to this little chat box and have it blinking there and then hit Control V. It won't automatically go into the chat. So you have to click like you were going to type something in the room. And then Control V. And these are one of those things where I just assume that everybody knows to make sure that your cursor's in the chat box, right? But that's not normal. This is a new skill. We're all learning a new skill. Hey, good morning, Gaulis. But the key, and I'll take a picture and we'll point. The key is that you see that little line blinking to let you know you're in the right spot to paste. And what's funny is I have pasted my pictures accidentally into about 1,000 different places where they weren't supposed to go. So now if I copy it, I'm going to come over to the room and that'll get you there. Let's see if that helps. Bum, 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 bum. Ta-da! Told you. Can fix anybody. Great job. And what's it say on there? It says Mark is the best teacher ever. He's so cool. And it looks like you caught another one of those momentum trades, Dwight. We definitely found your niche. Nice work. All right, but we'll go back and talk about that in the second hour. So the one thing that I want you to do is I notice on your chart, I can't see entries and I can't see exits. So do you remember how we went back to the chart and right-click to data series? Scroll all the way to the bottom. Make sure that you're plotting executions for me. That helps me see where you're getting in and where you're getting out. And when I can see that, it lets me give you better feedback. And then for all of you, again, from the software user guide, there is a spot that says plotting entries and exits. And it's somewhere in there. So great work on that. Off to a good start. So now you're halfway there. You've got your pictures. We're going to simplify. You can use Market Replay to double up, triple up, quadruple up your repetitions, guys. You can go back and trade the market as though it were live. You can fix your mistakes, skip the trades that you shouldn't have taken, and take the trades that you should have. Take a million pictures, guys. The more pictures you take, the quicker you're going to get to where you want to be. I want to share something with you. This is my library, and this is about 10 months. Almost 5,600 pictures, and I delete a lot of them. Almost 5,600 pictures. All of these pictures get burnt into my brain, and it creates that ease. And we're just going to repeat this process every day, guys. That's the goal. So let's get into the trade. And again, if you need help with pictures, if you need help with the spreadsheet, if you need help with scaling charts, setting up stops, setting up targets, let me know. I got you. But we're going to focus on 3 advantages from only 2 charts for just a few minutes. And a trade is nothing more than momentum, a clear path, and an entry area. And I want you to believe that. Because when you can identify momentum, a clear path, and an entry area, there are a million types of trades that you can take. Every one of them is right if it's right for you. But we're going to focus on the high probability trend trade first. We're going to look for these 3 advantages on only 2 charts. And everything starts on the large chart. The large chart leads the way. And rule number 1 on the large chart says that we must have strong trigger lines. So we're going to open up our workspace. We're going to turn our attention to the large chart, and we're going to keep it real simple in the beginning, guys. We're going to look at the background color. Is it green or is it red? If the background on your large chart is green, you're in an uptrend. You should only be looking for rules to be met for high probability trend trades long, right? Trading with the trend, going with the flow, however you want to say it. If the background is red, you're in a downtrend, and we're only looking for rules to be met for high probability trend trades short. Once again, there's no reason to ever fight the trend, guys. Fighting the trend rarely works out for new users. So check it out. There it is. There's your trend, up and down. Let me show you how easy it is. You ready? Brand new users, help me out here. Are we in an uptrend or a downtrend on the S&P? What do you think? U or D? Everybody, help me out. If you're brand new and you're like, man, I want a victory right out of the gates. Is this market going up or is the market going down overall? Anybody? Nobody? It's going down, right? It's going down. Guys, that is so easy. What about crude oil? Up or down? You guys think I'm being silly, right? I don't want to answer the question because duh. Answer the question. Burn it into your brain. Guys, NASDAQ, up or down? Up. Do you see how easy that is? There's your first victory for the day, guys. You are now officially capable of understanding which direction the market is moving, and now you can commit to only trading in that direction. Well, now we need to make sure we have strong trigger lines, right? Strong trigger lines mean that in this uptrend, your small triggers, these solid lines, have broken above and away from your large triggers, these dash lines. Small triggers, solid lines, large triggers, dash lines. It's the separation between small and large that lets me know that the odds are favorable for the market to continue up. And in a downtrend, it's the separation between small and large that lets me know that the odds are favorable for the market to continue down. Odds favorable momentum is a phrase that you're going to hear in class all day long. You're going to see it annotated OFM, and odds favorable momentum should set the tone for everything you do as a new user. When the small separate until they return, this is where we're going to look for that high probability trend trade. And on your large chart, this one bar that's going to get refined, you may see these tails, right? You may see these little wicks, these tails. These are those pullbacks on a smaller, faster chart. You're going to be able to pinpoint right where the bottom of that tail is likely to happen, because with these strong triggers, this is the most favorable look for buying Fibonacci support on a smaller, faster chart, or for selling Fibonacci resistance on a smaller, faster chart. So this is rule number 1, the advantage of momentum, that separation between the two. So let's go through the same drill. Small's below the large are wide, they're angled in the direction of the trend. Guys, let's go right here. Odds favorable momentum on the S&P? Pretty easy, right? Does everybody see it? See the separation? See the direction? This is a market that's likely to continue in the direction of the trend. Look what it did. It continued in the direction of the trend. Holy smokes. Small's below the large are wide, they're angled down. Can we all agree that there's odds favorable momentum on crude oil right at this very moment? We're in the moment, guys. We are trading. This one bar is telling me the direction. This one bar is showing me that I do, in fact, have odds favorable momentum. And then one more just for good measure. Smalls below the large are wide. They're angled in the direction of the trend. Guys, look at this. Odds favorable momentum. And look how that market pushes down. What an outstanding advantage, Nexgen users. We have the advantage of momentum. You have the advantage of momentum. This is rule number one. The advantage of momentum happens until those small triggers return to the large triggers. They work their way inside of the large triggers. And now we're dealing with weak triggers. We're dealing with a situation where anything can happen up or down. When the smalls return inside of the large triggers, this is a weakening of the large triggers. It's the opposite of strong. If the odds are favorable for the market to continue up, anything can happen up or down with weak triggers. And look at that. It precedes a reversal in the market. Guys, this is huge for new users because if there's nothing pushing that market, it's going to become difficult to take a trend trade. Odds favorable momentum does not happen every second of every day, which means that 90% of what you do during the day is going to be reading your indicators. You see how it goes from odds favorable and everything pushes down. And then I get those weakened, those anything can happen triggers, and it precedes a reversal. And then I get odds favorable momentum, and there's one of those tails, one of those potential pullbacks. The market continues up, right up to those weakened triggers, where the market proceeds to reverse. Pretty cool, right? It is really that simple to understand when the advantage is present. Sometimes your trigger lines won't agree. Sometimes the large is up and the small is down, or vice versa. Sometimes the trend is up, but the triggers appear to be red and down. This is where the people that move the market are fighting. This is where Johnny Buyer and Susie Seller are gloves on going after it for supremacy, guys. This is where new users are tempted to predict whether the market's going to go up or down. I don't have momentum, but I think it's going up. I don't have the advantage of momentum, but I hope that it goes down. And this is where new users and some experienced users get run over and over because they don't have that advantage of momentum. Your job as a brand new user, your job as someone who's in this to make money and not be active, guys, your job is to wait. Wait for it to sort itself out and get that odds favorable momentum. It creates an outstanding advantage that should lead the way on every trade that you take. Is everybody comfortable? Give me a Y in the room. Odds favorable momentum, setting the tone. Pretty simple, right? You've identified it on 3 different markets. You've seen it sitting there, and you know that this is the first advantage in the recipe for a trade. Well, once we have odds favorable momentum, we're going to make sure that we have a clear path. Once again, large chart, termination conditions false. We're not going to reach an area that's likely to stop the market. And room to the profit targets is true. We're not going to take a trade if we can't make money on it. That's just silly. What are the areas that may reverse the market? For those of you that are brand new to the software, this is a great just identification tool for what you're looking at. Do we lose it? Guys, give me a Y if you can hear me. Can anybody hear me? Let's see what happened here. Nobody? It might be freezing up. No. All right, reconnected. Can you guys hear me now? All right, coming back in. Can you guys hear me now? Do a little reboot. All good? Cool. Sorry about that, guys. Not sure what happened. Man, I had a roll going too. I had some momentum. Let's pick that momentum back up. What do you say? What are the areas that may reverse the market? What are the areas that may stop the market? What are the areas that those guys that move the market are reacting to? It can be red Fibonacci resistance or blue Fibonacci support. It can be those yellow one-to-one dots. It can also be a magenta divergence high line or a cyan divergence low line. And what we're going to do right now is I'm going to teach you how to recognize when the market has reached an area that's likely to stop it, that has the potential to stop it. And remember, not every area is going to stop the market, but if we reach one, gone again, everyone?